Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to Apostle of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings out there to the Yakim out there pushing this truth and sincerity, putting their life and their freedom on the line. This video is going to be called Curses of the Israelites. Alright. So where do you find this curses that are supposed to be on the Israelites? Because the Israelites are on curses until the Hamashiach returns back to redeem them, the one you call Christ. So they're going to their curses upon the children of Israel, the Israelites, until the Hamashiach returns. And you can find this in Deuteronomy 28. So before I get started, there was blessings and their curses. Deuteronomy 28:1 reads, "And it shall come to pass, if thou hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee upon high above all nations." So here it is, the Lord saying, hey, you follow my law, statutes, and commandments, I'm going to put you upon high, upon all these other nations. So, you basically sounds like, the Lord is saying, you my people, forget everybody else. I'm going to put you on top above everybody else, and everybody else is going to be underneath you. Basically, that's what he's saying. And the blessings are verses 2 through 14. But let's read 15. 15 is the beginning of the curses. And it's going to tell you why. "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Now, people, we got a problem. It's called reading comprehension. People don't have a problem comprehending what they're reading. And it says, but it shall come to pass, meaning it's going to happen. So this is a book of prophecy. So let's see what the Lord says. And the curses are from 16 all the way to 68. These are the curses. All right. I'm going to bounce around between in Deuteronomy 28:15 from there on around and invert different parts to show these curses in correlation. Verse 16. "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field." Self-explanatory. Whether you're in the city or you're in the field, you're going to be under these curses, and nothing you can do about it. "Cursed thou shalt be in the city and the field." I'm going to jump to 19. "Cursed shalt thou be when thou comes in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goes out." So from the moment that you're born underneath these curses, and when you die, you're going to die underneath these curses. All right. Let's jump this back to 17. "Cursed shall thou be, cursed shall that be thy basket and thy store." Now, basket is generally something that you store, you carry things in, what you hold things in. You ain't going to be able to hold on to anything, man. You're going to be cursed. And if you have a store, it's not going to, the Lord might bless you, might be fruitful and plentiful for a while, but eventually that store is going to go under. You ain't going to have it. The baskets, for holding things, holding your pocket. You ain't going to be holding on to monetary, financial gain, or whatever you're trying to hold on to. It's not going to last. It's not going to be there. So, let's jump down to 30. Let's not go to 30. Let's jump to 32. "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fare with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand." Here it is. Where did this happen? This happened during slavery. You have a son or a daughter become a certain age. Master Johnson decides he's going to take your child, a son or daughter, and he's going to sell to Master Smith in Virginia. You have no power. You have no strength in your hand. Take your child out your wife's hand or your hand, put him on that little cart or whatever, send him down the road. no strength in your hand to stop this. And here it is, you're longing to see your child because you're not going to see your child no more. You don't know where that your child is being sent to. All you know that is you're no longer going to see him. There's no might. Verse 33, the fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away. This land and everything that it produced at that time, who labored in the fields for it? So-called Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. We labored in these fields, especially you Negroes. You know, plantations all down south, we labored in this field. In the Caribbean, sugarcane, we labored in those fields. Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat it up? Who ate it up? Who ate it up after we labored and got all these fruits and was able to go sell it, financially gain from it, and they ate it up. The so-called other nations, especially these Edomites, these aka Caucasian, they know these red people. I'm not gonna call them white because white means pure, and they're not white. They're different shades of red. They're the Edomites the scriptures speak about. Where was I? Slack, I lost my place. Thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed away. And ever since then, we've just been, all we have been since we've been in this country and in the Americas, the Caribbean, it's been oppressed. Still being oppressed right now. Being crushed economically, financially, socially, especially in the streets. Being crushed by the police in many ways. And the system itself is oppressing us and crushing us. We're just going to jump down to 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set up over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shall serve other gods, wood and stone. So here it is. When they came and got us, and we was on the west coast of Africa, we're not Africans. We were just sojourning there. We're hiding, and we set up communities there because we fled out of Israel in 70 AD in the diaspora. This is going to be another lesson, but we're not Africans. But anyway, so when they came and got us on the west coast of Africa, and they came and got the northern tribe in the Americas and what they call the Caribbean now, South America. What did they bring? And they took, when they put us into hardcore bondage, they gave us Christianity, and this white Jesus. That is the wood. That Christianity is that wood, and that white Jesus with the wooden cross, and the stone. And the stone is what Ishmael has, these Arabs, which is Islam. That is the stone, the worshiping of these false gods. And so these are the gods that our fathers have not known. Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. Now, you've got to understand, all these other nations all around the world, they know who you are. They know who the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans are. They know who they are. They know who you are. You don't know who you are. So it says they should become an astonishment. So when you got these other people from other nations, they come around, they come into nations. Why do they come to the hood? Why are they all around checking everything out? Because they're astonished to see that these are the children of God. Look how they are now. They're destroyed. Homosexuals running around here with pants hanging off their ass, showing their ass, and just the craziness and the nonsense that we're into. That's how we're astonishment. A proverb. Blacks are lazy. You know, what was your one? Oh, niggas like to eat watermelon. Oh, blacks like chicken. Well, I like chicken. I ain't gonna front. I like chicken. You know, these are proverbs and a byword. What's the byword? I'm black. I'm African American. You know, I'm Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Western Indian. I'm a Jamaican. These are slave names that was given to you by your slave owners. You know, Puerto Rican, rich port. So God called you a rich port, right? Okay, all right. West Indies. West is the direction. Indies, when you look into the etymology, if I remember correctly, means savage. So Western savage. Is that what you call? No. God gave you names. You so-called Negroes, you're Judites. So-called West Indians, you Benjamin. So-called Haitians, what are you? You're a Levi. You're the priest. This is why you're into this voodoo. It's a spiritual thing. So-called Mexicans, you're the tribe of Issachar. So-called Puerto Ricans. Come on. You're not that, man. You're not Puerto Ricans, man. Lord gave everybody names. You got to understand who you are. Gad and Reuben, they called the so-called Native American Indians. You're Gad and you're Reuben, man. Oh, man. So you become bywords among all nations, because even Israel, we're just not here in the Americas and the Caribbean. We've been spread out through all the four corners. And so, you know, you've got Israel and other nations being called other things also. This is what you've got to understand. It's just that the bulk of Israel is here in the Americas, North, Southern America, in the Caribbean, Central America. All right. Let's go to, let's jump to 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou have been destroyed, because thou hearken not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So this is why we were Israelites were underneath the curse. Why we're underneath these curses? Because, you know, they said if more of it is going to be, it shall pursue thee. So like it was written in verse 19, from curse shall thou be when it comes in, and curse when thou shalt go out. So these curses are going to be upon thee, because why? It's going to pursue us and overtake us and destroy us. And we are a destroyed people. Look at our people. We are destroyed. Because why? We didn't want to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded us to do. You know. Verse 4 says, they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, upon thy seed forever. And so what's the sign? When you're driving down the highway, you see this exit sign, let you know, White Marsh exit, or, New York 140. Those signs to let you know where you're at, or where you're going. Take the time to look at some of these curses, and you tell me, when did it apply to the Jewish man? It doesn't. Because here it is. This man has all the money. He's got he's in control of the broadcasting, the TV, the music. He runs, he's the banking family. But that's another lesson. But take time to realize. Verse 4 said, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Because for the abundance of all things, all we had to do was serve the Lord. Follow his laws, statutes, and commandments, and we would have been on top of all these other nations. But yet we chose not to. We didn't want to ask the Lord and to follow the Lord and do what he asked of us. Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, with which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he hath destroyed thee. So it is therefore to serve thine enemies. So when we got here, we was put on these cargo slave ships, gathered up by the so-called Africans, right? Slave ships built by the so-called Arabs, Ishmael, and was sold to the Grecians, so-called Caucasians. You know, these are our enemies. All the other nations are our enemies. But let's look. Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. When we brought here in slavery, we was in hunger. Where did we have to go get our food from? From Massa. So, Caucasian man, Edom is our enemy. These Edomites are our enemy. We needed food, we had to go to the Edomites. Now, even if you want food now, where you got to go to? You go to a supermarket, you go to a restaurant. Who owns these places? Edomites. In some cases, some other nations, which are enemies too. And in thirst, when we was thirsty, once again in slavery, who we had to go to? You had to go to Massa. When you're thirsty now, who owns the water purification companies? Who owns the bottle companies? So-called Edomites. You got to go to your enemy. And in nakedness, when you want to buy any kind of clothing to put on your body, who owns these? I know some of y'all going to be like, oh man, I wear Rockaware, I wear this. But check this out. Rockaware and all these so-called black labels, all they're doing is stamping their name onto it. Who own the textile firms? That owns all the fabric to make it? Your enemy does. So you don't own shit. And in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until thee have destroyed it. So anything that you really want or you need to get, student loan, say no more. Bank loan, say no more. Car loan, say no more. Go get a mortgage, say no more. You see where this is going. And what it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Now, anybody get a chance at the end of this video, Google yoke of iron and see what images come up. It's going to be images of not so-called white Jewish people with yokes of iron around the neck. It's going to be yokes of iron. You're going to see so-called Negroes. Until he have destroyed thee. How are we destroyed? We're destroyed as a people. We no longer know who we are. We no longer speak our native tongue, which is Hebrew. We speak this bastard language called English, which when you do your research, it is a variation of Latin. So is English, French, I believe Portuguese, and a few other languages are from Latin. The only people that spoke Latin was Edomites. But anyway, but we're destroyed as a people. We don't know who we are. We're lost. Verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Now, the Lord's giving you clues. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee far, as swift as an eagle flieth. What is the symbol of the United States? It's an eagle. What was the symbol of Germany? An eagle. When you look at most of these Edomite countries, their symbol is incorporated as an eagle in the majority of them. When you look at when you go back in antiquity and you look at the Romans, what did they carry as a symbol? An eagle. These Edomites has always used the symbol as an eagle as their symbol. So this is who they are. These are the Edomites, whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We did not understand when they were speaking. So we got to understand that. 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. So that means even our old grandmama was out there in them cotton fields picking, 80, 60, 70 years old. He was in that hot ass sun picking cotton, getting whipped. They did not show no regards. Nor young or old. So you might, if you probably was old enough to walk and pick, maybe 4 or 5 years, you was out there picking that cotton, picking that sugar cane. let's see. Let's jump down to '64. This is still the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Once again, here it is. The Lord said He was going to scatter us, the children of Israel, which is said and told us that we was going to serve other gods, wood and stone, as said in verse 36. So the Lord said He was going to scatter the children of Israel, and He was going to scatter them amongst all people. So amongst all these other heathen nations, the Lord was going to scatter His children as a curse. As a curse. You know, and wood and stone. So we spoke onto the wood and stone, which would be the Christianity, which would be the Islam. So to scatter them, so the people being scattered through the four corners amongst all these other nations, along with these Moabs, the Ammonites, Moab being the Chinese, Ammonites being the Japanese, Elam, which is the Mr. Thank you, come again, East Indians, today's call themselves the Persians or whatever. Amongst Edom, you know, through what? Transatlantic slave trade, and through and other dispersion also, because even before then, Israel was scattered. When we, it's just something that happens through the curses. Now, but the key thing is how was the Lord going to scatter us? So this is the creme de la creme, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. Not only did the Lord tell him that He was going to scatter them as a curse, He also told him how He was going to do it. This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So here it is in Deuteronomy 28:64. He tells the Israelites that I'm going to scatter you amongst the nations. And 4 verses later in 68, He tells them how He was going to do it. And He said, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again. First of all, you got to understand, they just left Egypt. They walked in and they walked out. So let's not get stupid, said, or they go back into Egypt. You got to understand what Egypt is. But first again, it was said again, into Egypt again with ships. So the first time they walked in, the second time they walked out. So this Egypt He's talking about in this verse is another Egypt. And you got to understand what the word Egypt means. So let's go to understand what that word Egypt means, what Egypt means. Let's go to Exodus 20, and we shall start at 1. And God spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt means bondage. That's what it means. So here it is, Lord's telling His children, you know,